Good evening, everybody. How are y'all doing? Just want to come on for a few minutes while I got some things on my mind. As you can see from the title, Parents, Grandparents, Let's Do Our Part. I am all into the movement and specifically into the criminal justice reform portion of it. And I have been listening to many uh, Zoom calls and all kind of information, trying to drive us in the right direction and keeping us connected with our elected officials, really trying to drive home some progress in criminal justice. But it got me thinking, after a call that I was on a little while ago, it got me thinking about things that we can control. There are many things that we as everyday citizens do not control, but there's some things that we do. And when it comes to how we parent our children, the quality of child that we send into our society to have to deal with the criminal justice system is important. There are some things, excuse me, that we can look at the system and we can say, oh, good evening, Paulette. There's some things that we can look at the system, we can say, yes, that systemic racism, that type of stuff was baked into it, and we fight uphill against some things. But then there's some things that we as a community are going to have to take some responsibility for and put that on ourselves. And properly parenting our children is one thing. And I don't want anybody to take this as I'm coming down on us. I'm not. I'm just giving, pouring out of my heart and out of my experience some things that we need to be doing to make it easy on us. First of all, parenting is purposeful. You know, parenting is parenting our children and being grandparents is not by happenstance. We are in control of how we teach our children to be. Their personalities and their character are shaped by what they see and what they're taught from us, right? So we got to understand that all of my life, even though we came from, not the best neighborhood in the world, our parents and our grandparents and our family elders poured some things into us. I remember my maternal grandmother saying, "We may be poor, but you don't have to look like you're poor." So there was an emphasis on always being clean and neat and respectable and presentable and having integrity and being polite. These are things that are not just old school. And I'm specifically talking to our younger parents now, that generation, you parents who are in your 20s and 30s and you have young children. I'm really talking to you. You are raising the children who will be the next generation's adults who are having to deal with the criminal justice system that we're having to change. And we want to make sure that when our children do interact with police officers, when they interact with courts and all those type of things, we want to make sure that we've done our part to bring forth people of great character. All right. So we got to get back to the basics. There's nothing wrong with your child being respectable, presentable, polite, and honest, being a person of integrity. That has to be taught. And it doesn't take a whole lot to do it. They first have to see the example in you. And if you're struggling with those things, you need to be talking to some of your family elders, some people in your church, some people in your community that can help you. We have to do better, right? Character goes a long way. And I'm gonna tell you something that I taught my children. I taught them that your name has a value. Life will throw you into situations where your money can't save you. It will be the value of your name. Somebody seeing your name or hearing your name and knowing the caliber of person that you are, that's going to get you out of a lot of stuff. And that comes from being a person of integrity and a person of high moral character. And those things are taught in the home. We need to do that. All right. Teaching Black history. Right now, our country is going through a re education. This movement is causing a lot of people, white, black, brown, red, everything, to start peeling back the layers of the really untruth that we were taught in the public school system. And it's teaching America its true history. And some of it is not very pretty. But I would say we can no longer depend on the schools to do that. There's a lot of information out here. It's our job to make sure that our children know our history. They need to know where we sit in this society. They need to know how this society was built and how certain things are stacked against us so they don't go into this society and they don't have to deal with the criminal justice system from ignorance. They need to know, and it's our job to teach them, and it's not a hard thing to do. And we need to let them know, there's some statistics. When you look at the statistics of black prisoners in your state, the percentage of black prisoners nationwide versus blacks who are in college and have college degrees. These are things that we need to make our children aware of once again so that they go into our society and when they do have contact with the criminal justice system, that they go with a hand up. All right. And we got to teach them the value of the vote. Now, this little few minutes I'm talking tonight is not all inclusive. I just want to take a few minutes to give you a few pointers. The vote is so powerful and the vote is so valuable. And I think sometimes we wait for our children to learn that in civics class in school, but that's something that we can start teaching them now. I have a 6 year old grandson who lives with me, and there's some things that I plan on teaching him, things I want to work with his mother. But some things are going to come from the mouth of his grandpa, as they call me, grandpa. Some of those things are going to come from me. I want to make sure that I'm pouring into him something that's going to help him go into this society, not with, with handcuffs on him because he didn't learn certain things at home. So I came on to make this point and make this plea. With everything that's going on, with all the things that we can see that have already been worked against us, the last thing we need to do is not do all that we can do in purposefully parenting our children. And so, like I said, I'm talking mostly to these young adults, these adults who are in their 20s and 30s, and the folks my age and older. We're grandparents now. We have children who are either adults or are transitioning into adulthood, and we have to take on some responsibility to be teachers. And then those children in our community that come from disadvantaged situations where they may not have a person like you in the home, we're going to have to take a greater responsibility for them too. You may have to open up your home so those children can have access to someone of your moral character and of your level of integrity. So I just want to encourage us. I love us. You understand? I love us and I want to see the best for us. And that does not mean that I don't love the others. I love the others too. I love all of God's children. But we know that our community right now is having some issues and those things have been brought to light, and we need to be doing everything we can to reach in every corner of our community and do what we can to help. So that's it. I just want to take a few minutes to say that. Feel free to comment or ask a question whenever you take a look at this video. I appreciate you giving me these few minutes in your evening. So until next time we do a little snippet, God bless you and may heaven smile upon you. Good evening.